Welcome to Whisperwood Lane, where secrets whisper on the wind. It's a place where shadows dance in the moonlight. This town has a story to tell. Are you brave enough to listen? Nestled amidst towering oaks and whispering willows, Whisperwood Lane was more than just a street. It was a vessel of history, echoing with the whispers of bygone eras. The grandest house on the lane, the Whitaker Mansion, stood as a monument to a prosperous past, now shrouded in an unsettling stillness. Its once bright facade had faded to a melancholic grey, the paint peeling like old wounds. The townsfolk spoke of the house in hushed tones. They said it was haunted. Legends of the Whitaker family, their sudden disappearance, and the chilling events that followed were deeply woven into the fabric of the town's folklore. For generations, parents had warned their children to stay away from the old manor, perpetuating the legacy of fear surrounding the estate. Despite the chilling tales and eerie aura, the house on Whisperwood Lane held an irresistible allure, a siren's call to the curious and the brave. It was a place where the veil between the tangible world and the spectral realm seemed perilously thin, a place where history and horror intertwined. The story began long ago, in the heart of the Victorian era. This is when the Whitaker family first moved into the grand house. There was a handsome husband, a beautiful wife, and their darling daughter, Clara. They seemed to have it all. Life in the Whitaker mansion was a portrait of idyllic domesticity. Laughter echoed through the halls. Music drifted from the grand piano in the parlor. Clara, a bright and cheerful child with eyes that sparkled like the morning dew, was the apple of her parents' eyes. She brought joy to everyone she met. Then one crisp autumn evening, tragedy struck. Clara vanished without a trace. It was as if she had disappeared into thin air. One moment she was playing in the garden, her laughter mingling with the rustling leaves. The next, there was only an eerie silence where her joyful sounds had been just moments before. The family was devastated. They searched high and low. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, but Clara was never found. The once vibrant house fell into a disarray of despair, echoing with the family's grief. The laughter ceased, the music died, and a pall of silence settled over the once joyous home. The townsfolk whispered about a shadowy figure lurking near the woods the day Clara disappeared, but no one dared venture too close to investigate. The imposing mansion and its surrounding woods became a menacing symbol of sorrow, shrouded in an unspoken dread. Mr. Whitaker, consumed by grief and determined to find his daughter, became obsessed with uncovering the truth behind her disappearance. He was a broken man, haunted by the loss of his little girl. Driven by his desperate hope, he delved into forgotten lore and local legends. He consulted with anyone who might have information. He sought knowledge from hermits, librarians, and even those who claimed to speak with the dead. His relentless pursuit led him to the edge of the woods bordering his property, a place shrouded in unsettling rumors and ancient tales. The townsfolk whispered of a malevolent entity that resided within the forest's depths, preying on the vulnerable and the lost. Armed with a lantern and driven by a father's unwavering love, Mr. Whitaker ventured into the shadowy embrace of the woods, determined to confront whatever evil might have taken his beloved Clara. And night after night, Mr. Whitaker ventured deeper into the woods. He called out Clara's name, hoping for an answer. He searched endlessly. His wife, heartbroken and losing hope, watched from the window each night, dreading the moment when he would return empty-handed. Days turned into weeks, and still there was no sign of Clara, nor any trace of her father. The once grand house stood desolate, a testament to the tragedy that had befallen the Whitaker family. Weeds grew unchecked in the garden where Clara once played. Some say Mr. Whitaker was driven mad by grief and lost in the woods, forever searching for his daughter. Others whispered that he had found something sinister in the heart of the forest, something that claimed him as its own. The truth, like the missing members of the Whitaker family, remained elusive, lost to the passage of time and shrouded in speculation. The Grand Manor on Whisperwood Lane, once a symbol of happiness and prosperity, became a haunting reminder of the family's tragic fate. It stood vacant, its windows like empty eyes staring out at the world, whispering tales of loss and despair to those who dared to listen. Section 5, Lily's Curiosity. Years turned into decades and the legend of the Whittaker house lived on. It became a local ghost story. Now a girl named Lily was about to confront the chilling truth. Lily was a curious and adventurous girl who had recently moved to the town with her family. Unlike the locals who avoided the manor, she was drawn to its mystery. The stories she heard at school about the missing family and the haunted house only fueled her desire to uncover the truth. One crisp autumn afternoon, emboldened by a dare from her friends and a thirst for adventure, Lily decided to explore the abandoned mansion. She believed the stories were just that, stories. Lily, armed with her skepticism and a flashlight, was determined to prove that there was nothing to fear. As twilight painted the sky in hues of purple and orange, casting long, eerie shadows across the overgrown lawn, Lily approached the house. A shiver ran down her spine as she felt a cold gust of wind, but she brushed it off, attributing it to the approaching night. Section 6. A night of terror. With hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement, Lily and her friends dared to step inside the Whittaker house. The air inside was heavy and still, thick with the scent of decay and the weight of forgotten memories. Cobwebs hung from every corner and dust covered every surface. As they ventured deeper into the house, the floorboards creaked beneath their feet, each step echoing in the oppressive silence. The shadows seemed to dance and twist, playing tricks on their eyes. Whispers seemed to emanate from the walls, whispering their secrets to the brave and foolish souls who dared to listen. Lily, determined to maintain her composure, shone her flashlight into the darkness, dispelling the shadows momentarily. She told herself these were just the sounds of an old house settling, but deep down a sense of unease began to creep into her heart. Suddenly Lily felt a cold hand on her shoulder. She gasped and spun around, her flashlight beam dancing wildly in the darkness. But there was no one there. Just as quickly as it had appeared, the chilling touch vanished. Panic surged through Lily. Her heart raced. This was no game. Something was terribly wrong. She turned to her friends, her voice trembling as she urged them to leave. "This isn't funny anymore. We need to get out of here." But as she turned back towards the hallway, she realized with a growing sense of dread that her friends were gone. They had vanished without a trace, swallowed by the shadows that seemed to writhe and coil around them. Lily called out their names, her voice echoing through the empty halls, but there was no reply. Only an eerie silence greeted her pleas. Fear, cold and paralyzing, gripped her heart as she realized the terrible truth. She was alone in the house with an unknown entity. The flashlight slipped from her grasp, clattering against the floorboards and plunging her into darkness. Blindly she stumbled back, her hands outstretched, feeling for any escape, but the darkness seemed to press in on her, suffocating her, whispering her name with icy breath. Lily's screams echoed through the empty halls of the Whittaker house, but there was no one there to hear her pleas for help. The shadows seemed to twist and contort, morphing into grotesque shapes that mocked her terror. She ran blindly, her lungs burning, her heart pounding against her ribs like a trapped bird. Each creaking step, each rustling curtain sent shivers of fear down her spine. The air grew colder, and the scent of damp earth and decay intensified, suffocating her. Just when she thought she could run no more, her outstretched hand met cold, hard stone. She had stumbled into what felt like a narrow passageway. Frantically, she felt along the rough wall, her fingers brushing against something cold and metallic. With a surge of adrenaline, she fumbled with the latch. It groaned in protest, but finally gave way, revealing a set of crumbling steps that disappeared into the darkness below. Driven by fear and a sliver of hope, Lily hesitated for just a moment before taking a deep breath and plunging into the unknown. The following morning dawned bright and clear, but the shadows of the Whittaker house remained, untouched by the sun's cheerful rays. Lily's disappearance became another chapter in the chilling legend of the house. Search parties combed the woods and the surrounding areas, but no trace of Lily or her friends was ever found. The old house stood silent, its secrets locked away behind its decaying walls, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lay hidden beneath its once grand facade. Some whispered that Lily and her friends had stumbled upon the same malevolent force that had claimed the Whittakers all those years ago, dragged into the shadows to become part of the house's grim history. Others believed they had simply become lost in the vast woods, their fates unknown. The truth, like the whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls of the Whittaker house, remained elusive. The house on Whisperwood Lane stood as a silent sentinel, a testament to the enduring power of fear and the haunting allure of the unknown. So the next time you find yourself walking down a quiet street, shrouded in shadows and silence, listen closely. You might just hear the whispers on the wind, carrying with them the chilling tales of those who dared to venture too close to the darkness. Remember the legend of the Whittaker house and the price of unchecked curiosity. For within the walls of forgotten places, history has a way of repeating itself, and sometimes the shadows whisper back. The tales of Whisperwood Lane serve as a reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved, some doors better left unopened. For the darkness holds secrets, and sometimes those secrets are best left undisturbed.